Today we will discuss one important topic of fungi, that is sexual reproduction in fungi. जो सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन है फंजाई में उसमें तीन इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स होते हैं. पहला जो इवेंट है दैट इज़ प्लाज्मोगैमी. प्लाज्मोगैमी मीन्स फ्यूजन ऑफ प्रोटोप्लाज्म. इसमें सिर्फ साइटोप्लाज्म की मिक्सिंग होती है. सेकंड स्टेप इज़ कैरियोगैमी. दैट मीन्स फ्यूजन ऑफ न्यूक्लियाई. और ये जो न्यूक्लियस का फ्यूजन है इट इज़ नॉट इमीडिएट, जल्दी नहीं होता है. इनिशियली जो दोनों न्यूक्लियाई हैं अपोजिट स्ट्रेन के, दे लाई क्लोज टू ईच अदर, रिजल्ट्स इन फॉर्मेशन ऑफ डाइकैरियन, जिसमें एक ही सेल के अंदर दो न्यूक्लियाई होते हैं, एंड आफ्टर दैट दे विल फ्यूज. एंड थर्ड स्टेप इज़ meiosis. As we all know, meiosis is reductional division. So meiosis दो तरह की होती है फंजाई के केस में. जो हैप्लॉइड फंजाई होती है उसमें meiosis होती है zygotic, मीन्स zygote के फॉर्मेशन के बाद meiosis होगी. और जो डिप्लॉइड फंजाई है उसमें meiosis होती है gametic, मीन्स ड्यूरिंग द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ gametes. नेक्स्ट जो फंजाई में यूनिक केसेस हैं सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में. So fungi involves various methods of sexual reproduction that we will discuss one by one. First is planogamatic copulation. Planogamatic copulation में जो gametes हैं, fusing gametes हैं, they may be isomorphic, means दोनों ही similar हैं. They may be anisomorphic, different हो सकते हैं, motile हो सकते हैं, non motile हो सकते हैं. So first is planogamatic copulation. इसके further types होते हैं isoplanogamatic copulation, then anisogametic copulation. Second is ooplanogamy. इसमें जो मेल गैमेट्स होते हैं दे आर मोटाइल और जो फीमेल गैमेट्स हैं दे आर नॉन मोटाइल. देन वी हैव नेक्स्ट gametangial contact. Then we have gametangial copulation. Then we will discuss about hologamy, and then we will discuss about autogamy, then spermatization and somatogamy. So this is the overview of our today's discussion. Myself Lomeshwar Sharma, and we will start it one by one in next slide. We will discuss about sexual reproduction in fungi. It involves three steps. First is plasmogamy. Plasmogamy means union of two protoplasts. दो protoplasts fuse होंगे and it will bring two haploid nuclei close to each other in the same cell. So this is known as plasmogamy. Second is karyogamy, which is the fusion of haploid nuclei in parts which were brought together. जो plasmogamy की वजह से जो दोनों nuclei close आए थे एक दूसरे के, they gets fused in this second event, that is karyogamy. And this process is known as karyogamy. This results in production of binucleated cells. I have already told you that जो दोनों nuclei हैं वो immediately fuse नहीं करते हैं. Before fusing they lie in pairs in each cell, and that cell is known as dikaryon. उस cell को बोलते हैं dikaryon. Di means two, karyon means nucleus. So karyogamy results in the fusion of these two nuclei and results in formation of fused structure which is known as synkaryon. Syn means fused, karyon means nucleus. So dikaryotization is followed by the fusion of nuclei and results in formation of synkaryon. In this picture we can see here asexual reproduction we have already discussed. It occurs with the help of some special spores, and they will germinate and give rise to this mycelium. During sexual reproduction, the first event is plasmogamy, in which two haploid cells will fuse together and mix their protoplast. And after that, in second step, the two nuclei are bring together. दो nuclei एक दूसरे के close आएंगे. They are of opposite strain, as in this picture demarcated by different colors. One is black, other is red. And this karyogamy is followed by the fusion of these two nuclei that results in the formation of structure which is known as synkaryon, or we can say zygote. And after that This zygote will undergo meiosis, results in formation of spores which are haploid, and they will germinate and give rise to this mycelium. So these are the events which occur during sexual reproduction in case of fungi. Third step in case of sexual reproduction is meiosis. Meiosis involves the production of haploid structures. So in haploid fungi, meiosis is zygotic. That is, the karyogamy is followed by meiosis, means fusion of nuclei is followed by meiosis that results in the formation of this haploid spores. And in case of diploid fungi, meiosis is gametic. It means meiosis occur during the formation of gametes. So there are two types of we can say meiosis which occurs in case of fungi. In haploid fungi it is zygotic, and in diploid fungi it is gametic. Then gametes produced may be identical. So these are known as isogametes. When they are not identical, they are known as heterogametes, means they vary in their morphology. Then the male gametangium, male gamete forming structure is known as antheridium, and the female gametangium is known as oogonium. So this is the meiosis. It starts with a single diploid cell and results in the formation of these four haploid cells. So these are the various events which occur during meiosis that we'll discuss in the next class. So this is the overview of methods of sexual reproduction in case of fungi. So first is Planogametic copulation. Planogametes are the motile gametes which have some structure that helps in mobility. So इस ये दो तरह का होता है. One is isogamy. It means the two fusing gametes are almost similar in their morphology as well as in their activity. Then second type is anisogamy, which means the two fusing gametes are different in their morphology or either in their activity. Then second type is gametangial contact. In this type, जो gametes हैं they are not released outside the gametangium. जो gametangia है उनके बाहर release नहीं होता है. So both the gametangium comes in contact with each other and transfer their nuclei that we'll discuss in upcoming slides. And third one is gametangial copulation and spermatogamy, then somatogamy, and one other is autogamy that we'll discuss one by one. So these are the various types of methods of sexual reproduction in case of fungi. So first is Planogametic copulation. It involves fusion of two naked gametes. जो दो naked gametes हैं वो fuse होंगे, and in which either one or both the gametes are motile. Then जो motile gametes होते हैं उनको कहा जाता है planogametes that we have already discussed, और zoogametes भी बोलते हैं इनको because they are motile in nature. On the basis of morphology and union of gametes, ये जो Planogamatic copulation है different तरह की होती है. So in this picture we can see here, this is first type is isogamy. Both the fusing gametes are similar. Then anisogamy and oogamy. So first is Isoplanogamatic copulation. As the name indicate, iso means same, planogamatic means motile gametes, they will fuse together. So this is known as isoplanogamatic copulation. So gametic union between two morphologically similar gametes is known as isoplanogamatic copulation, and it occurs in some members of fungi like Plasmodiophora, synkaryon, etc. Then second is anisoplanogametic copulation. As the name indicate, aniso means different, planogamatic means the motile gametes. So it involves the gametic union between two morphologically and physiologically different flagellated gametes. For example, in Meiosis. The next is ooplanogametic copulation. It comes under this an isoplanogametic population because the two fusing gametes are different in their morphology as well as in their physiology. So ooplanogametic population involves, in this case, the female gamete is larger in size and it is non-motile, while the male gamete is motile and smaller in size. So it involves union of two morphologically different gametes, and in this case the female gamete is non-motile and is larger in size, while the male gamete is motile and smaller in size, as in case of monoblepharis. So this members show ooplanogametic copulation. The next, in this picture we can see here, this is the oogametic copulation, in which the larger structure, that is the female gamete egg, and the smaller one are sperms. So this is non-motile and larger in size, while male gametes are motile and smaller in size. Then the next type is gametangial contact. In this case, in some members of fungi, there is oomycetes and also known as algal fungi. It is also known by the other name phycomycetes. Algal fungi, they show some primitive characters which resemble with algae. And some ascomycetes, this is the group of advanced fungi. ये थोड़ा सा advanced group है fungi का, classification में पढ़ेंगे हम ये. So इसमें जो gametes होते हैं, they are non-motile और रिलीज नहीं होते हैं गैमेटेंजिया के बाहर. So it involves the male gametangium and female gametangium. They comes in contact with each other. इस केस में जो मेल और फीमेल gametangium है वो gametes को रिलीज नहीं करते हैं. They comes in contact with each other. In this picture we can see here, this is the female gametangium and this is the male gametangium. They lie closer to each other and they will transfer their nuclei. In the male gametangium will transfer its nuclei within the female gametangium through some special structures. This type of sexual reproduction is known as gametangial contact. It means both the gametangias are coming in contact with each other for the transfer of nuclei. So antheridia put a tubular structure, or that is also known as fertilization tube, inside the female gametangium, and this tube will carry the male nuclei and it sends it near to the egg, and fertilization takes place inside this female gametangium. जो मेल न्यूक्लियस है वो एंथ्रीडिया से एक ट्यूबुलर आउटग्रोथ के थ्रू फीमेल gametangium के अंदर ट्रांसफ़र होता है, and after that it involves fusion of male and female nucleus. So this type of sexual reproduction occurs in Pythium, Albugo, Phytophthora, Neurospora, etc. So these are some members which show this type of sexual reproduction. Then next is gametangial copulation. Gametangial copulation occurs in members of fungi like mucorales and some ascomycetes. So we'll discuss these groups in classification section. So in this case the entire gametangia of opposite sex fuse. इसमें जो पूरे gametangia है, पूरे जो male and female sexual reproductive structures हैं वो दोनों ही fuse कर जाते हैं और उनके बीच की जो ये wall है वो disappear हो जाती है, which results in mixing of all the material which lies inside these gametangia. So this wall disappears and the content which lies inside these gametangia will gets fused. So if the fusing gametangia are similar, so this type of gametangial copulation is known as isogametangial copulation. For example, in case of mucor and rhizopus, in this picture we can see here these both the fusing gametangia. Gametangia means reproductive structures are similar. So this type of gametangial copulation is known as isogametangial copulation that occurs in mucor and rhizopus. And if the fusing gametangia are unequal in size, it is known as anisogametangial copulation, and it occurs in the member, for example, Diopodescus. In this picture we can see here, this larger one is female gametangium and smaller one is the male gametangium. These both gets fused and their material gets mixed. So this type of gametangial copulation is known as anisogametangial copulation. The next is hologamy. It occurs in case of yeast that is unicellular in nature, and after attaining certain degree of maturity, it जो yeast का cell है that behaves as gametangia. This is the yeast that we use in our kitchen for doing of flour. So the gametangia fuses in pairs and form the diploid zygote. So इसमें जो cell है वो gametangia की तरह behave करेगा, और जो दो cells हैं they will fuse together and they will result in the formation of diploid zygote. So this is known as hologamy, and it occurs in case of yeast. The next type method is autogamy. In some members of ascomycetase जो antheridia हैं या तो वो absent होते हैं, अगर present भी हैं so they are non-functional. So either they are absent or if they are present they are non-functional. So इस केस में क्या होता है, जो antheridium है which is non-functional उसका contact, or there are some other factors that stimulates the ascogonium nuclei to arrange themselves in pairs. जो ascogonium एक structure बनता है, that is the female reproductive structure, उसमें जो nuclei lie करते हैं, they lie in pairs when they comes in contact with either this non-functional antheridium or by some other factors. So जो एक ही ascogonium के cells हैं they lie in pairs due to the presence of this non-functional antheridia or either by some other factors. And the paired nuclei हैं they will fuse and give rise to the zygote like structure, and this type of reproduction is known as autogamy. So within the same cell there occurs a fusion of two similar nuclei which are stimulated by this pairing of nuclei is stimulated by either the presence of this non-functional antheridium or by some other factors, and it occurs in the members of fungi like Talaromyces and Penicillium. So this picture shows the colony of Penicillium. Next type of sexual reproduction is spermatization. It occurs in case of some members of ascomycetase like Neurospora, which is commonly known as pink mold or Drosophila of plant kingdom, और कुछ members हैं Basidiomycetes के like Puccinia graminis. ये cause करता है एक disease wheat plant में जिसका नाम है black stem rust of wheat. ये produce करते हैं small spores जिनको कहा जाता है spermatia, और ये produce होते हैं inside a flask shaped structure जिसको कहा जाता है spermagonia. Inside this flask shaped structure ये produce होते हैं एक fungal hyphae के ऊपर, और उस hyphae को कहा जाता है spermatiophores. जिन hyphae के ऊपर ये produce होते हैं spores, उन hyphae को बोला जाता है spermatiophores. और ये जो spermatia होते हैं they are fused with trichogyny of ascogonium. जो female reproductive structure है उसमें एक special hypha present होता है that will receive this small spore spermatia जिसको कहा जाता है, and it will fuse with this ascogonial hypha which is known as trichogyny in case of Neurospora जो कि ascomycetes का member है, और hypha जिसको कहा जाता है receptive hypha in case of Basidiomycetes member Puccinia graminis tritici. So they will receive these spores and the spore gets fused with this receptive hypha or either this trichogyny, and finally leads to formation of dikaryon, which is followed by the fusion of nuclei results in synkaryon formation. So this is the image which shows this flask shaped structure which is known as spermagonia. This is known as spermagonia, and inside this flask shaped structure small spores are produced which are known as spermatia, and they are produced on special hyphae, fungal hyphae, which are known as spermatiophores. So either this spermatia produced is of plus 10 or this hypha is of minus 10, they will fuse and results in formation of this dikaryon. So in this picture we can see here these are the receptive hyphae. They are of either plus strain or minus strain, so they will fuse with the opposite strain, spermatia. The next is somatogamy. It involves the fusion of two somatic cells, like in some members of Ascomycetes and Deuteriomycetes. This Deuteriomycetes is a class of fungi which lacks sexual reproduction. इसमें जो true sexual reproduction है वो absent होता है, इसलिए fungi के इस member को fungi imperfecti भी कहा जाता है. So इसमें जो reproductive organs हैं they are either absent और या तो वो functional नहीं होते. So in this picture we can see here जो दो somatic cells हैं वो fuse हो जाएंगे, they will transfer its nuclei, और एक ही सेल के अंदर दो न्यूक्लियाई आ जाएंगे. दिस कंडीशन इज नोन एज dikaryon and process is known as dikaryotization, and they, after that they will get fused to form this diploid structure. So the somatic hypha of opposite stains will come in contact with each other and involves transfer of nuclei, and the point of contact gets dissolved and plasmogamy takes place, which is the fusion of cytoplasm that we can see in this picture. And the two nuclei pair with each other and forms a heterokaryon or dikaryon. We can say hetero means different, karyon means nucleus, means they are of opposite different stains. If one is of plus stain, the other nucleus is of minus stain. So this resulted structure is known as heterokaryon. For example, in case of Morshella, Morshella is the common name of Gushi, and then we have Agaricus. This is also known as Khumb, Beziza, and Astilego, etc. Next is parasexuality. It was first reported by Guido Pontecorvo and J. A. Roper in 1952. जो parasexuality है, it involves plasmogamy, karyogamy in the life cycle between somatic hyphae of two different stains of a species, and this process is known as parasexuality. This is not true sexual reproduction because it occurs between the two somatic cells, and it is of wide occurrence in case of member Deuteriomycetes. So that's why this is known as fungi imperfecti, because it lacks true sexual reproduction. So in this picture we can see here this is haploid homokaryon. एक single cell है, दूसरा जो cell है somatic cell, these both cells gets fused and they will result in formation of this structure which is known as haploid heterokaryon. After the fusion of this these two nuclei, it results in formation of this somatic diploid cell. It occurs in this process, there occurs some mitotic crossing over, means the exchange of genetic material between the chromosomes, and results in formation of these recombinants, in mixed genetic material होता है in cells में. And after that there occurs mitotic error like aneuploid. Aneuploidy means addition or deletion of chromosomes from the total set. So in this picture we can see here there it involves deletion of one chromosome. So this results in abnormality, or we can say a type of mutation that result in the formation of this haploid recombinant homokaryon. So it involves the fusion of somatic hyphae. There are no true sexual structures are formed in this case. So that's why this process is known as parasexuality. This is all about today's discussion. Thank you. Have a great day. If you have any questions and queries, you can ask in the comment section, and you can suggest improvements also. Thank you. Have a nice day.